forgot that I was blocking my Granito sweater last night. I tossed it in the sink and then promptly forgot about it and went to bed and discovered it this morning when I went to go brush my teeth. So I'm going to finish blocking that this morning. I just tossed it into my spin dryer, which I love to utilize when I'm blocking my knits because it gets so much extra water out that everything seems like it dries really fast. So I'm going to spin that down and get it laid out on the bed, and then I gotta get to work. Rainy day today. This is not too happy about it. Went on a poop strike, but it's almost 11 o'clock in the morning and I don't think he can hold it anymore, so poor buddy. So yesterday the color work bug hit me really bad. I had actually pulled 2 skeins from the shop that I was packing up for an order, and the combo was like so beautiful. I kind of became obsessed with it. It was Free Fall, which is one of my new colors, and Sucker Punch, and I just thought they were so beautiful together, and I really immediately wanted to cast on something. And I've been kind of feeling like the color work itch the past couple of days, so I thought maybe let's try a color work pattern. So I took this as the opportunity to finally swatch for a Guthrie sweater, which is a pattern by Boylan Knitworks, but it calls for DK, and I've been wanting to knit it in fingering, but have been too lazy to do the swatch and the math to convert between the 2 yarn weights. So this figured like it was basically the perfect opportunity to do that. So I tried it with that combo, but it turns out the yarns just really did not have enough contrast. They're really similar in the depth of the color that they have, so their tones are very similar, and it was just too muddy in the color work. The pattern was not standing out, and it was not doing the beautiful combo of colors any favors. So I think I'm going to save that combo for a shawl, and I've already bought a pattern for it. We'll see when I cast on. It might be my travel knit when I head to Puerto Rico. But I swapped out Sucker Punch instead for Sweet Dreams, which is basically a white base with speckles, for my Guthrie sweater, and I swatched and I love how it came out. So this, I swatched first on 3.75s and I blocked it yesterday. I wasn't quite sure how I felt about the fabric. It seems like it's, especially when it was blocking, it seemed too loose. The stitches seemed too loose. So I went ahead and did another swatch with 3.5s, and now this one is blocking. And last night I liked the fabric on the 3.5s a lot better, so we'll see once it's finished drying. It hasn't quite finished drying yet, and I'll make my final decision. But I mean, I really loved how they turned out, but look how different. I used the same skein of Free Fall, and look how different the 2 swatches came out. So I am definitely going to have to alternate skeins of Free Fall when I start working on this, because holy moly, that is a lot of difference there. But both look really beautiful. I love having the white pop against the darker turquoise background. And yeah, I'm really excited about this now. So once I get this swatch finalized, I can do all the measurements. Well, I'll decide which needle size, and then I can do all the math. It's not that much, actually. It's really the swatching in the round for color work that I was dreading the most. I don't like swatching in the round for color work. But it's done now. So the hard part is over, and now I can just plug away some numbers and get started on that. I'm not sure when I'll cast on, but I'm excited about it. Happy Monday! There's no 3-day weekend for me, unfortunately, but that's because I have a lot of fun stuff coming up over the next 2 weeks, so there's a little bit of work stuff that I have to get crossed off the list before I can take a break and have some fun. So today is mostly going to be scanning and labeling. I've got to get all of the last orders for February's color of the month packed up. I also have a wholesale order for the Naughty Lamb that needs to get packed up so that the mailman can pick it up tomorrow, because Wednesday and Thursday I am taking a staycation. It's kind of a staycation to Disneyland for 2 days. Andy's mom, my mother-in-law, and his aunt Patricia are coming to visit me and go to Disneyland. Patricia is a fellow Disney freak like me, so it's gonna be fun to have somebody who enjoys Disneyland as much as I do come and play with me in the parks for a couple days. So I'm really looking forward to that, but gotta get these last things checked off before the fun can start. For this week's knitting roundup, I've got 3 projects on my needles to share. The first is the Dame de Fer cardigan by Marie-Amélie Designs. And this one I am knitting with Miss Babs Hot Shot, which I am really enjoying working with this yarn. It is knitting up beautifully. The stitch definition looks really great. Even in this dark color, you can still see the slip stitch design coming out. And it's just been a real pleasure to work with this yarn. Last week I said I wanted to get to the sleeve separation, and I didn't quite make it. I've about halfway through the last repeat of the slip stitch design that makes up the yoke of the sweater. And then I will be separating for the sleeves. So I almost made my goal on this, but not quite. But after the yoke is finished and the sleeves are separated, then the rest of the body is just stockinette. So that should be a pretty simple knit the rest of the way on this. This little motif that I really love on the top here has taken up a little bit more time to do, mostly because I apparently can't count. And it's got like a little repeat of 4 stitches that you're working on, and I constantly was getting off and having to tink back and redo it. So that's my own problem. But almost done with the yoke on this cardigan, and that's actually the only sweater on my needles that I've been working on lately. I have ideas to start a Guthrie, and I swatched for that this week, but I haven't actually even wound up the yarn to start that yet. So that might be one of my vacation projects that I take with me to Puerto Rico next week. We'll see. And I've also been working on 2 of my sock projects that are on my needles. I've only got a little bit more done on these Ushitita socks that I started last week. I was working on these while I was watching Bohemian Rhapsody, the movie. And I guess I was rocking out a little too hard because I didn't get very much done. I decided to change from a plain vanilla sock pattern to the Hermione's Everyday Sock pattern, which is a very simple little motif with pearls, alternating pearl stitches to give a little bit of texture. And so I kind of decided on that after I had worked like 3 rows plain, but I don't think you can tell at all. So I didn't tink back, because with 2 at a time, tinking back is just a ginormous headache. Wasn't worth it. So only really got like an inch worked on these last week. But I made a lot of progress on my Aowen socks using the Valkyrie Fiber self-striping yarn. And they are looking quite excellent. Just a big long tube at this point. I think I've got like 1/4 of an inch to go up here, and then it's time to start the toe decreases. And I've marked my place here in the back with this contrasting yarn to cut in my afterthought heels. So really all I have left on these socks is the heels and toes. So made good progress on these, and I expect to have them finished by next week's vlog, but since I have so much going on with vacations and family coming into town, who knows how much knitting I'll actually get done. I always plan to do a ton of knitting when I have downtime, and then it's like I get no knitting done. So we'll see, but toes and heels, that's like a couple hours of work. So hopefully I can get these finished by next week. So really loving these. They look great. Excited to get them off my needles. And that's it. Just a short section to share this week. And I actually did get some new yarn in the mail, but I think I'm going to show it off a little bit later because I've got to get this vlog up a day early because I am going to be at Disneyland tomorrow. So I won't have time to edit it on my usual day, so I'm going to try to get it up tonight and make it a little easier on myself. So lots of fun things will probably pop up in next week's vlog, but for now, for now, we'll see. Let's see, my knitting goals for next week, tentatively to finish my Aowen socks, and we'll just say get to the sleeve separation on my La Dame de Fer cardigan. And I have a new test knit that I have been accepted for, so that I definitely need. That is definitely going to be a Puerto Rico vacation knit, and I can't wait to show you guys some more of that. It's a beautiful shawl design, and I'm really excited to work on it. So also get started on my test knit is also on the knitting to-do list.